we have found over our time working with mums and maybe their first boyfriend's been abusive, and they've moved on, eventually found the man of their dreams, fell in love, had a baby, 2 or 3. But postnatal depression lands differently with them. The fear, stuff that they have buried, is then, the old saying is, you end up bleeding on the people that didn't cut you. And what I mean is that them women don't know that it's important to speak about that. It is so invaluable to reach out for support if you've been in an abusive relationship. And that is even counselling. Yeah. You know, it's not even just through Women's Aid, but it's speaking about that, because you often, if you don't, you're carrying that into your future, and you often, these bigger feelings that cause so much rupture and distrust, and affects a relationship that you have, that actually is a wonderful relationship. Yeah. But when you bring children into it, then your trust just completely goes away. Do you understand? Absolutely. And we have sat with, and I know I'm probably, and I'm just going to have honest conversations here, and I don't have all the lingo to go with it, and but I have watched so many women, and it's their first love or a previous relationship. It's not actually the relationship they're in now. Yeah. You know, what's advice out there? You know, if you're somebody sitting there, they're wanting to be a mommy, they're terrified, right? Because maybe they've come from an abusive relationship, but they've fallen in love. Mm-hmm. Talking about that, I feel that's the early intervention. Yeah. Release that, what has happened, because you carry that on like it's heavier.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
It's in the, as we used to talk about the wardrobe, it's in the back of the wardrobe, and
in the back of the head, and it just goes.
Yeah, and the like of postnatal depression, birth trauma, when that all surfaces, the wardrobe busts, and it comes out. It's going to come forward, and I suppose, if it was me, and I was in an abusive relationship in the past, and now I'm long gone since he's away, and I'm with my new partner, can I go to you about a relationship that has been in my past, or does it have to be a relationship that I'm in now?
That's a very good question.
Yeah. I suppose, and I'm just being very honest, we will likely prioritise where there is something happening right now. Only purely,
which makes 100% sense. Yeah,
purely based on the sheer volume of women that we have coming to us. We have amazing relationships with other organisations who do provide things like counselling.
Yeah, I mean, but even they can come and have that conversation. They're not going to be left with nothing. No. You signpost.
So there could be a mummy, it could be a listener listening today and thinking, you know what, actually the relationship I had with such and such 5 years ago, he actually, that was emotional abuse. Mm-hmm. That was financial abuse. While he didn't hit me, this definitely has had an effect on me, and it's affecting possibly the relationship I have now. Mm-hmm. Yes, where there's priority, and with totally respect that, there's a matter of reaching out and possibly then being signposted to the right person to go to.
And there's a few things there that because I think that's a really important couple of questions that you've asked.
Sorry, this is where nobody's planning questions here. We're going with what you say, and it's things that I even see coming through our door, and as often it's coming from the past. They're carrying the past into the present as such,
and not realising, I suppose, that actually what I went through wasn't right, and it, it's like, I suppose, like historical sexual abuse. Mm-hmm. Like, where do you go with that? So historical domestic abuse.
Yes. So there's a few bits.
Okay.
The first thing is, I completely hear what you're saying in terms of particularly those early months of motherhood, irrespective of any formal diagnosis.
Yes.
Birth alone is a hugely vulnerable.
Yep.
Not moment. Period of months and sometimes years. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a total rebalancing and a total re-examining of, well, who am I now? Mm-hmm. And who entrusted this tiny person to me? Like,
another person to look
are you sure?
You? Yeah.
What am I meant to do in this wee thing?
I'm not qualified. And And I think at that time, for lots of women, that will bring up so much. I know you've had conversations before about, reparenting yourself and how does our experience as children influence us now and how we respond. And that the same is true with domestic abuse or sexual abuse. If you've had historical experiences where you have been abused, of course that's going to come up in that postnatal period in general. So the first thing is this, maybe domestic abuse that happened within your family home as a child?
Yeah, that you witnessed. Yeah.
What does support for that look like? Is it that now, having had your children, are you re-examining what's happening in this current relationship and going, I'm not sure this sits okay with me? Because what I will say is there's lots of evidence out there that domestic abuse increases in pregnancy.
Yeah.
So women in the postnatal period are more likely to have experienced domestic abuse. That's why you're asked by your midwife. That's why you have routine inquiry, is because you're an at-risk population.
And is that because attention is taken away? Is that because...
Lots of reasons. So attention is taken away. Isolation. Women aren't so isolated during pregnancy. If you think about even in the most difficult family dynamics, it's often a time when granny reappears and the sister reappears, and
Yes.
it's a real moment of celebration. The other thing is you have statutory services in your home as a matter of course. It is the only time perhaps
That's
that
correct,
you will
yeah,
have statutory service. So
That's your midwife,
you'll
your
have
health
your
visitor.
routine- You'll have your routine appointments, your scans, you'll be seen by doctors, GP, midwifery services, nursing services, health visiting team, all of that. And any time others come in, that can be a threat to the silence and the control. You have lots of opportunities to disclose there.
Yeah.
So then what is that then, that they try to create more power? I see
More
you, I know,
control, yeah.
don't you tell, and then it
More control.
more
And
control.
also, women begin to prioritise this little tiny human that they're growing, and everything becomes about that. And it's an amazing time. And so there can be some jealousy there.
Yeah.
There's also things like, sexual abuse can escalate significantly in pregnancy. A woman's whole body has changed, her feelings have changed around intimacy. Certainly for lots of us as women, it's probably the first time we realised our bodies actually had a function.
I know. Yeah.
Like, who knew? We didn't, that they weren't just there for the enjoyment of other people.
Yeah.
There was a very practical function there. And all of those things can kind of collide at one time to make that a risky period for women in relationships. But going back to that piece around if it's been historical. So historical abuse looks different for a mum who has children with an ex-partner who was abusive.
Yeah.
Because she can continue to be abused because they have the connection of the
Yes,
children.
through the kids, yeah.
Okay, so you can still have those huge flashpoints of contact, drop off, all of that.
Yeah.
So what we'll essentially do is bring that person in and do that full risk assessment anyway. Because I don't know that it is historical until I've done that. So it could be, yes, that it's historical abuse and there are things that are coming up for you now that really require trauma counselling or some other longer term support. Or it could be that this huge change and transitional phase in your life has made you look at the relationship you're currently in a different light. And perhaps it is abusive, and perhaps it's more subtle than maybe others have seen. So we'll always do that full assessment with women before we go anywhere else.
Okay.
And most of the women, well, not most of, that's a lie, but about 40% of the women who are currently within our service are there because of an ex-partner or an ex-husband. But just because the relationship finished does not mean the abuse
doesn't
did.
stop.
No.
You can still be abused for many, many years after you've left. 'Cause that, again, circling back to that, why doesn't she leave?
Yeah.
She can leave and still be subjected to abuse.
Big time.
But again, the difference is where you have support and safety in that process, things are much more likely to turn out for the better for you.
Yeah, and so that's the likes of talking therapy. So you, and that empowerment, knowing that you're able to use your own voice, understanding self, because we definitely, as females, I mean, I didn't. I'm only starting to know who Una is this past 10,
Yeah.
15 years because you were sit there, be quiet, be nice, be suppressed who you were. So you can see where people, when they enter into motherhood especially, struggle because they don't know their identity. Who am I now? And that makes them even more vulnerable.
Yeah,
But you can also see, and that's where we're going to hope.
absolutely.
Oh, big time.
Yes, and I suppose I wanted to ask, and without giving you, I know you can't give names and stuff, but you obviously have seen, you would have seen cases over the years where you've seen a woman rebuild her life, and I'm going to get emotional. The hope, we bring hope, and Women's Aid brings hope,
Massive.
and that must be massive for you. And I suppose that's what probably keeps you going, seeing the hope.
Yeah. And I mean, it's really timely now because we've had so many domestic homicides that are
God. Oh,
really
yeah.
in the last 12 months that
Yeah.
are really horrific.
Yeah, and they've been. We have
We've
had
as
quite a few local.
Yeah,
Very
and it's affected. You don't
Everyone.
know the mommies,
Yeah.
you don't know the children, but it affects you.
yeah. There's
Yeah.
that feeling of one of us.
Exactly.
These are our local women. They're part of our community.
Yeah.
They are loved and valued, and someone has made a decision to take their life.
Completely. Yeah.
And so, particularly in the wake of all of that, people would often ask Women's Aid staff, "Oh my, I don't know how you do it, and oh my God, and it must be so hard, it must be so awful." And yeah, there's always cases that will sit with our team, and there'll probably particular ones that will sit with them forever.
Yeah, of course.
But none of us could do this or would choose to do this if it was hopeless. If it was inevitable that every woman would suffer forever or would die or whatever the horrific outcome is that comes to mind, then we wouldn't do it. We couldn't do it. We are so genuinely lucky and genuinely privileged. We get first of all, a woman trusts us in her most horrendous, vulnerable moment.
That very dark time. Yeah.
So to be trusted with that is such a gift, first of all. She has to tell us things that she's never spoken out loud. And then the practical reality of trying to get out of that is really hard.
It's a minefield, like.
But we get to watch this woman discover her choices and discover her options, maybe for the first time in her life, and find her voice and begin to use it. And we watch her grow and change, and we see her kids thrive, and we hear, the halls of a refuge filled with laughter, even in awful moments. And we see her leave our service, and the lovely thing is when she stops returning your calls and you go, oh, okay, she doesn't need me anymore, great. Or it's a last phone call to say, thank you so much, but I'm all right now. And then you'll pass women on the street, sometimes many years later, and their story will come back to you, and you think, wow, look at you now. And it wasn't us that did that. We're not there. We're there for a moment.
Yeah.
We're not there to push women along and make them do things. We're not there to drag them behind us. Come on, you have to do this. We get to walk arm in arm with them.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Beside them. And then at some point, we stop walking and they keep going. And it's genuinely the total privilege of my life. And the privilege of our team to see that happen, despite all the horror, all the adversity, the odds being so awful. And in that moment of terror in the very beginning, most women are okay. Most women get out.
But we don't hear them. Them
so-
stories don't make the headlines. If we could hear more about hope, more people are reaching, rather than when it becomes an absolute crisis point. Like, Ciara's reached for the tissues.
Thing is, speaking, this has been the most loveliest podcast to speak on, even though it's such a dark topic. And I suppose you're very calm in the way you speak, and it's lovely. And I've had light bulb moments through this year because I'm sitting thinking we are two different charities, but we both of us kind of see me and go, we're providing hope, but we're providing, a woman comes to us in her darkest hour, and like I've been that mummy who's come to us in the darkest hour, and I've had no hope, and I thought that there was no end to it. Now, while mine was not domestic violence or abuse, it was postnatal depression, but it was to me as bad as maybe what a woman would go through. But to come out the other side of it is amazing. And then to hear stories then of women, I totally get. I think if I wasn't, if you ever lose me, it's going to be just women's.
Well, sure you did. Sure you did apply for a job with Women's Aid.
I did actually apply for a
and she was a
job,
day early.
Oh, I was a week early for the interview.
Sorry, not a day. She did.
I know I did. And I applied for a job long before there was funding, when I was only a volunteer for 8 years ago. Yeah.
She's
I applied for a job in Women's Aid, and I was a week early.
We'll catch up after this.
Don't you dare, Kerrie. I
Honest
know
to God,
where you work.
It's providing hope, and it's seeing a mummy through her journey and building that connection, building that relationship, walking with her shoulder to shoulder, and being able to try and say to her, because it's the same as our mummies, to say, oh my God, like, thank you so much. You helped me so much. You got me better. We didn't do it. The mummy did it. You walk shoulder to shoulder. The mummy does it. And it's seeing that the other side. And yes, I don't know if is that a bad thing that brings us so much joy at the other side, but you're seeing an outcome.
I know, but here, isn't it amazing that there's so much fantastic resources at our doorstep?
And also we have. I mean, even that what you've just said there. Is that bad that we take joy in seeing other people succeed?
Yeah.
You would never ask that question of an oncologist whose mummy died of cancer. You would never say, well, look at you trying to heal yourself through your job. And that's very much a female thing, where we go, gosh, maybe I shouldn't be enjoying helping people.
I'm sure, I was going to say it to you earlier on, I'm sure I feel like I haven't done a day's work. I haven't worked from my come to sport together because it's my passion and that's what I want to be, and it's in my blood and it's in my family and it's there, and I'm sure you're something similar. Now obviously you're a bit higher up the chain than I am, but it's not a job whenever you're fit to love it.
Yeah, and that's what the voluntary sector is. It's very much a vocation. It's not about as I said, titles and money and whatever else. It's about seeing the impact of the work that you do on other people. And I don't think there's one thing wrong in saying, do you know what? I'm really proud of that.
Yeah.
I've taken something from that. I feel I am making a difference.
Yeah, making a difference.
And why am I making a difference? I'm making a difference because it's touched me in some way. I'm moved to action. I mean, that's what women's organisations are all about.
Yeah.
Groups of women who were moved to take action when nobody else was. And I just think that's something to be really celebrated.
Yeah.
And be very, very proud of.
Yeah.
Like, we have a saying in Support Together, stand tall, shine bright. And because a lot of women come into us and they're bowing down, they're ashamed, completely consumed with shame. And if that's what if they can leave in the end, that's the goal. That they go and they flourish and life is in front of them, and they want to come back and volunteer and work with us, deadly. But to go and eventually stand tall and shine bright. Yeah. I should never be ashamed that I've went through something. It wasn't, I didn't ask for it. And to be able then to know that does not define who I am. I'm Una. I'm Una first and foremost. Yeah, I'm a wife, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, and I'm a mother.
Yeah.
But I'm Una.
Yeah.
And I have a right to stand tall and shine bright, and that's what Kira has done through her journey, and the pride that I would have on the women that see the value in self. And if often we do it for our children, but when you see the turn and when women are doing it for themselves, everybody else benefits from that. The ripple effect is unbelievable. And you see that
absolutely
in your work, and your team see that in their work. But we often, what we hear, what you're hearing on the social media, what you hear is the end game, that life, is gone, been taken away.
Yeah.
But there's so many amazing, successful, hopeful stories.
This is Fill Ur Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, and we couldn't bring you today's episode without the support of Shannon Hollywood, behavioural consultant. Shannon supports parents with a compassionate, research-based approach that focuses on connection, emotional safety and co-regulation, not punishment. Her courses and online content are designed to help parents stay calm and confident and connected, especially during challenging moments. And remember to follow Shannon on all her socials.
And there's no last chance. That's the other thing. We have this idea that it's women who are between 20 and 40 or 50. We've seen women thrive in their 80s.
Yes.
Who've come to us after 50 years of awfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Who go on to thrive.
Yeah, your power.
So there's no, and I think that's important. There's no limit on that.
No.
Whenever you're ready, we're there.
I suppose before we go on and do our what fills your cuppa, have you any words of advice for anybody who could be listening that's thinking, right, that's my friend or that's my sister or actually maybe that's my mummy? Any words of advice on how they can support their loved one?
Yeah. So I think we underestimate the power of listening and truly listening and being present, because the nature of domestic abuse is there will be an agenda to remove you if you are a source of potential help and support and comfort. And sometimes we find that with families, they've maybe had some friction, maybe with the victim. Maybe she has behaved in a way that they're not happy with. But please know, and we would say that actually a lot when women first come into us, we're not talking to her, we're talking to him. So have that in your mind. There will be a campaign to remove you from her and to limit her support. So when you come to her with concern, come from a place of non-judgment. Come from a place of not instructing her. Because again, remember, her choices have been so limited. The last thing she needs is another person saying...
Can you give me an example of that, even in our words that we could use?
So instead of, you need to leave.
Or you should
leave. And a tendency to rescue. Get into because I know we talked about, yes, let's take joy in helping others.
But you can't go in there with a superhero cape and think
right,
you're going to
pack
fix
your eyes
all.
and go into car and taking you.
No.
Present choices and options and move at her pace. You know that you could always stay with me if you ever didn't feel safe. Be curious. What would happen if you said no? So you're trying to get to her fears without being accusatory or judgmental. What is it? What is the thing that you're most afraid of? You can offer practical help. So, listen, I can keep a bag in my house for you, an emergency bag. If you ever just need to get away for a night or a couple of hours or whatever. Reinforce to her that there are supports and services available. You can contact police. You can contact Women's Aid. You can talk to your kid's school. You can ring social services. You can go for counselling. Again, it's ensuring that she is always hearing the message that there are options and choices available to her when she's ready, and that you're there to walk with her on that. You're not there to push her along again. I would encourage people to stay away from the criticism of him, if I'm honest, because I think that is something I've learned from some of your team members. That's actually very powerful. So keep going there, because that is. So rather than, I suppose, personal commentary around him, he's no good or he's this, he's that, let's focus on the behaviour. Rather than the person's character and
putting a name,
putting a name to him and whatever. So you don't have control over your own finance. Why is that? Why aren't you allowed to have the money to do the groceries? Why do you have to? I wonder what would happen if you didn't ask permission, if you just came. That piece of curiosity, rather than, well, I'm not having this and you're my sister and I'm going to do X, Y, Z and he's going to hear all from me and whatever. That's quite overwhelming.
It just puts more fear in.
It puts more fear in, and moving at her pace. There's lots that you can do to be really practical and supportive, but it's really difficult for friends and family members.
Yes.
I know that. I know that from experience. If you're very, very concerned or something has happened, of course ring the police. You can, as I mentioned, request for the information from police to be shared with her
Mhm.
if you're worried.
Yeah.
But for me, I would say being there, being a constant, non-judgmental source of support and solidarity for her is probably the single most important thing you could do.
Mhm.
And you can offer help and support and all of that, but ultimately she has to feel ready to be able to do that. You can, things like getting a second phone is often a really good thing. And when I say phone, I mean a brick.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, take yourself back to the
Back
first
to
mobile
the way I had
phones.
one of them boys. Yeah. Brick.
No apps, no this, no that, no nothing. Strip it back. That she has an emergency number saved. Develop maybe a code word with her, something that you can text her if you're worried about without it ever being raising suspicion, or something she can message you with to say, I'm not safe. I mean, we do this with our teenagers.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
we sort of say,
Mhm.
you know, I'll ring you and ask about granny or something, whatever it might be. So things like that can help as well, having that code of how you can check in with her around whether she's safe. You'll see sometimes when the government are doing, you know, those big alerts, those big safety announcements that they do sometimes, we will put out warnings to women to ask them to turn off their second device, because that can be a lifeline, you know. You can, even that, making sure that you're not messaging them anything very personal.
Yeah.
You're not asking about domestic abuse in a text. That text can be read or accessed. Perhaps that phone is cloned. All of that. And even, you know, get her out if you can. Out for a walk, out for a swim, out for a whatever. So there aren't eyes and ears on you. Because I suppose without wanting to scare anyone, we have seen where, you know, women are being filmed at home, or there are listening devices in the home, and that sounds very sort of, I know it, as I'm talking, it can sound a bit tinfoil hat. It really isn't. Technology is so accessible.
Of course
to so
it
many
is.
of us now.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
There's no reason why it can't be happening.
Yeah. So that piece of private conversation and just being there always, just be that.
Be the constant.
Be that constant. Be that squeaky wheel. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what walls are thrown up by him.
That's brilliant.
And you can hear you hear from women. Then maybe they plan to leave, and then the next is to go back, and the friend then feels, oh God, right, she's back again, and the friend then might completely disappear. Don't disappear. Keep planting them seeds, because eventually she will leave for good. You know,
When
but
she's
you can
ready,
see
yeah.
that's where friends then can give up at that time, or she doesn't need me, or she doesn't care, or whatever. Keep doing them wee small gestures.
Yeah.
Because they do go a long way, don't they, Kerrie? Like,
Absolutely. I mean, we know that. I mean, the research tells us that it'll take about 30-35 attempts for a woman to leave before she can finally leave for good. And again,
35 attempts.
Yes. So again, reframing our thinking. Has she made a decision to say, I want to walk back into the lion's den, and I'm delighted to do so? Absolutely not.
No.
There's some other consequence that she is afraid of. Maybe he was arrested, but he was let out in bail. Maybe the school knows now because of Operation Encompass, and she feels uncomfortable. Maybe she's realised she doesn't have the funds to do it. Maybe she's finding staying in your house actually a wee bit overwhelming and a bit difficult, because actually you also have 5 kids and they're
Yeah.
none of us are. None of us are a straight path. We're a whole person, and we have our own struggles, and it's really tough to leave. And I suppose trying to remove yourself from it. It's not that she has turned down your help or your support, or you weren't good enough. It's that he has created such a wonderful trap that is so expertly executed that it's really hard for her to get out of that.
Yeah.
And so just by being there constantly, without judgment, because she needs to know that the next time she calls you for help, you'll still answer the phone.
Yeah.
You'll still show up.
Yeah.
and that this is each time is a fresh attempt.
Yeah, exactly. That's the message. Don't give up.
No.
Every
Oh,
little
God.
bit makes such a difference.
And I do want to say this because I think this is so lovely. When a woman isn't ready to leave, she doesn't wipe the conversation from her mind.
No, it doesn't delete. No,
No.
no.
So
Exactly, yeah.
later down the line,
Mhm.
a piece of information or a choice or a bit of advice or words of support that you shared with her, when her life is filled with his voice, if you imagine that, he's here all the time, he's in the room.
Mhm.
But eventually other voices start to appear as well.
Mhm.
And maybe you're in that room too with her. And maybe your voice grows that bit louder and that bit stronger and supports her to make that change. It's not, you know that saying of leaving is a process, it's not an event. It's not a single point in time.
No. And we plant seeds with mummies, and seeds were planted with me. That's how we ended up starting the charity. I heard about postnatal depression through a conversation, through training one time as a young girl. That was the first seed.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor very early. I didn't allow the illness to fester as deep because seeds were planted with me.
Yeah.
There's them conversations them positive conversations became loud at a time where I
think that's
needed
a
it.
very good point with them positive conversations.
And that's what I mean. That is positive, real reassure. This is an illness.
Yeah.
You know, you did not ask for this. You're not defined by it. You know, this happens to one in so many ways. Do you know?
Yeah.
There's them wonderful facts. Then help me.
Yeah.
I am where I am today because of seeds of people's positivity and guidance,
Yeah.
not criticism.
Oh my, we could talk forever, couldn't we?
We could, Kerrie, God bless you. I know.
So after you're done saving the world and all
Yeah.
them mummies, how do you keep that cuppa filled? Because if your cup is empty,
And you're the CEO. You have to work hard in the
how in
cuppa.
order God, Kerrie, do you do it?
I think sometimes self-care, for me, self-care becomes another thing on a never-ending list, and I imagine that it has to be something huge.
No.
Nah.
So I see people and they run the marathon
Ah.
and go, oh, I'm not doing that.
No.
Or they're away on like a respite for a weekend spa thing, and I'm like, I'm not doing that either. I have 4 wee ones.
You 4?
Oh
Cheekers.
no, they're lovely. They're great. Like, and I mean, even that.
I'm not going to criticise your weigh-ins.
I just mean even
fair
the work,
play. I've
even
two.
the work of them.
Go
because
you.
They're like their own wee community as well. Like,
Of course they are.
Do you not know what was causing
They're
it?
airing each other.
they sort of support each other as well.
Word.
But a long bath,
Yes.
a good walk. Very recently discovered gardening, and I have decided I'm on Titchmarsh.
Oh my gosh.
Go you.
Yes, I'm not
So-
very good, but I don't care.
And the sun is out, and this
Sun
is where
I
Deeper into
buy
the soil?
very cheap orchids in Asda that are half dead, and I get great pleasure in
Trying to bring them
watching
back to
come
life?
back to life.
Wow.
I just think there's lots of, you know, that thing of it can be simple things. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can
Well,
be
I love that because that's what
easy
we're trying to get across to our mummies all
it
the
doesn't
time.
have to have massive money thrown at it.
No, I had a sleepover on Saturday night with my 3 daughters, and that was just the 3 of us lying up in our pajamas, watching Mean Girls, eating rubbish, lying up, and that was self-care for
Good
me.
for the soul.
Yeah, just simple stuff. Doesn't have to be big. But if anybody wants to, you know, donate a weekend spa
We'll go.
for us,
We'll all go.
we won't turn it
No,
down.
you're not denying. No, definitely wouldn't. It'd be bad manners to do so.
Well, yeah. Definitely. Like, and you can't send her by herself.
That's cruel. So you fill your cup, and that's lovely to say that, you know, it isn't the big stuff, and one weekend away is not going to cure it all. It's working on it every day.
Yep, true.
And it's that wee bit of buying yourself a lovely cup of coffee, stopping off somewhere with a beautiful view, standing outside the car and taking a big deep breath. Do you know what I mean? These pause moments.
Yeah.
Just being still, and that's something
Yeah.
that I really have to work very hard on.
With 4
Like,
weans
right,
and a
30 minutes, you're
CEO.
not moving.
Okay.
You're resting. I'm like, this is really tricky. This is really tough.
Did you ever do stay with the boil of the kettle? We would do that with a
gosh,
mommy.
yeah.
Jesus, to the way putting the washing away and everything. They boil the kettle about 4 times. You go, no, stay with the boil of the kettle.
Yes, that's
Be
such
mindful,
good
Pat.
advice.
Yeah, no, and sit, and then you know what you do then?
Drink it.
You fucking pour it into the cup
And you
and
drink it when it's
stay
still
with
hot.
the cup while it's hot. You know,
Yeah.
oh, they'll be away doing everything around the house and they're boiling the kettle 10 times.
know,
Sometimes
that's
that's
so
if we
true.
could just achieve
Yeah. Una Mary,
what, Pat?
what are you doing? What is your Fill Ur Cuppa?
Well, do you know we're doing a mile a day for the month of May, for maternal mental health month, and
It's actually Maternal Mental Health Day today.
well,
although
there you go.
this will not be going out on
No,
Maternal Mental
it
Health Day,
won't.
but it says
Yeah.
today.
It is today.
Well, it's maternal mental health awareness to us every day of the week.
Yes.
We do it all the time. And we decided we'll do a mile a day. So we have about 6 or 7 campaigns going, and it's deadly. And now I kind of got a wee bit embarrassed about my wee mile a day now, because I was thinking people going mile a day. I fucking hear you. I don't do a mile a day, right? I walk from my car, I walk
bridge
around.
into the office.
So to me, as I was walking, I had to get up and out the other day, looked at the long road ahead of me. And I'm of a creative mind, right? And I saw a long road. I'm out in the country, the arsehole of nowhere. And I came across a snail and a slug. And I looked down and I thought, do you know something? They're going at their own pace.
Yes.
And I'm going to go at my own pace. And do you know what? We'll get to our destination. And a mile a day is a big thing for me. And that could lead to 2 mile, 3 mile. God knows I could be running the next marathon.
Yeah. Why not?
Anyway.
Oh, jeepers.
No, but I don't really want to. I'm all right. I'm a great cheerleader. I am a professional cheerleader. But just even going out for them walks, seeing nature, and my wee creative mind. Like I did, seriously, I got down and I just took a photo. Like, thank God nobody's seen me. Like I was down the ground taking a photo of the snail and all. I just thought, yeah,
Aw.
you're going at your own pace.
You're your own person.
You know, the snail and
There's only
the
one
hare.
Una Mary Leonard.
There's only one of me, and I'll do me.
Yeah.
And that's that. So that's kind of that wee mile a day. Don't be ashamed of your achievements.
proud.
They're your achievements.
Oh, that's lovely.
You don't have to look at compare. What leads to despair. Get rid of the
Oh, I
one.
like that.
Yes.
Why? I said to them,
Pocket.
compare. And that normally happens at the school gates. Everybody's comparing.
Like,
Aren't you? Wee Jimmy, the wee Brady, and your wee. Anyway, that's another podcast. But yes, so Mrs. O, how are you filling your old cuppa?
I have found most recently that, and it's filling my cuppa, but it's actually other people filling theirs. And by that there, I suppose it probably mean, yes, they're mummies, but most recently, my own children. Seeing them achieve and seeing them succeed, I didn't realise how much that filled my cup up. Because they're doing it themselves, and the difference that it makes for them.
But you're not dependent on them.
No.
Right, so there's where we have to,
No,
yeah.
that's just I suppose
Amazing.
we practice it on I fill my cup every single
Yes,
day.
you do, yeah.
But just there, it's supposed to be a long weekend or the long bank holiday. It was lovely, but seeing the wee letter coming home from Enda from the school that he was he's dyslexic, so he's going through his reading, and they're doing some kind of reading program, and he's up to his years. He's now whatever reading years, and he thinks this, and I'm like, you know what, it is amazing.
yeah.
But he is standing tall and shining bright.
Yeah.
Jude walking to the bus in the morning.
Is yours called Jude?
Yes, Jude.
So's mine.
Yes, I have a Jude. Jude and Anton and Orla. And Jude, like, yes, he's at the big school. He nearly finished first year in big school. But whenever I said to him, you'll be walking out to the daddy leaves him out every morning, you see, and it's no distance. There's no reason why he can't walk. But Mummy, my legs are short now. Your legs aren't sore. You're fit to walk to the shop for sweets. You can walk out the bus stops before the shop. So yesterday morning, because we were off Monday yesterday morning, I was like, right, got him ready. Daddy was lying in bed. And I says, right, that's you ready to go now? And he is like, I goes, no, don't be on the phone now when you're trying to cross the road. He looked at me. You not bring me out? And I was like, no. I was like, you can walk. I'm not too far. I goes, Jude, you can walk. He looked at me and he says, would you be proud of me if I walked? I says, of course I would. Well, the wee wink and the smirk, and away out the door, and I thought, there you go.
That's achievement for
That's
him.
achievement for
That he's
him.
able to do it.
He came
So
back
then
yesterday standing taller because he walked.
course.
Like, this is, and then Orla's, well, I suppose she is a professional at filling her cup. My wee girl, she is. Like, she knows she goes out and does her football. She knows she goes out and she'll tidy her room. And what fills her cup up, and it's great to see it. Like, from an early age, they're able to do it themselves. There's nobody having to fill their cup for them.
And she rests, you know, even
Oh,
to
aye,
know that
she loves
it's all
her
right, I
sleep.
can go and crawl up on the
Aye.
bed and rest after my football.
Aye,
and
she'll go, Mummy, I'm way upstairs for a snooze. Away on you go.
I love that.
But there's they're not relying on nobody else to fill it for them. And I love that.
And that's, suppose, why I was saying we have a lot of women that live their lives through their children, right? And when their children succeed, that's where. And it's so important that our children succeed and thrive. We don't want to sit in survival mode. We want to thrive, but you are watching your children thrive
Yeah.
as you're thriving also,
Yeah.
and that's the there's a big difference there,
Yeah, absolutely.
and that's amazing.
Yeah. Now,
Now, Kerrie, this is a bit here. I'm really going to have to apologise.
cheesy jokes.
She does cheesy jokes, right? This has been going on since Christ was a
They're
child,
stinking.
right?
But they're class.
No, I think I might have laughed at two on
Oh,
the
no, we were
podcast.
last for the last one. Yes.
Pressure now.
Did you bring one?
Did she
There
ask
was-
you to bring
There
one?
was heavy competition in our house last night.
Oh,
There were lots and lots of, but I would be in big trouble with my smallest if I didn't use hers. So I'm
Right,
gonna
well, do you want to
use
go first then?
Lily's. So
Okay.
hers was, why can't Elsa hold the balloon?
I don't
something
know.
to do about let it
Lily, why can't Elsa hold the balloon?
go. Yes.
Because she would probably let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah, we
Love
serenade
it.
her.
Love it. Love it.
Well, I love this one. Why was the clock sent to the principal's office?
No way, the clock.
It talked too much.
Oh, good.
I love it. That's like a real dad joke. I love
Oh, no.
Why did the mayor apply for a job?
Don't know, Kira.
It saw great potential.
That's really positive.
Yes. And why did the musician climb a ladder?
I don't know.
Una Mary, try it, no?
Try it.
Get to the high notes. I love my jokes. This is what the cheesier and the worse the better.
Oh,
I know.
Yes,
It's
it's a
just
bit
a
of a
bit of
giggle.
old humour, isn't
yes.
it?
No, I'll put them in my pocket and bring them home. No,
Oh.
I have jokes for you.
Oh,
Yes.
no, I
So-
not even remember them. You see, my brain won't retain them at all.
We have spoke for a long time.
Yeah.
It has been probably a record, I would say, for us. And it feels like it literally went in a blink. You are so easy to speak to, Kerrie.
Oh.
Oh my God, it has been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. And if Una does lose me in Sport Together, I will be going to Women's Aid.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, the work that you do,
amazing.
I admire you, the team that you have, and the daily challenges, but also the successes that goes along with that. So, thank you
Thank you so much.
from woman to woman,
Yeah.
for Women's Aid and for what they do in our community.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's been a total pleasure.
There you go.
If every day at work was like this, wouldn't it be great?
Oh, you have to go down and do a bit of work.
I will.
Well, this is work.
Yes.
You
yeah,
know,
you're right.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you, folks. That's us.
Yeah.
Upload, download, whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
This was Fill Ur Cuppa, the Support Together podcast, hosted by me, Mrs. O, Kira O'Gowan, and the S2 team. And we couldn't bring you today's episode without the support of Shannon Hollywood, behavioural consultant.
And produced by 9874 Creative.